Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and today I have another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a show where you guys submit your Battlefield or gaming-related questions, and then I give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities really quickly out of the way, if you would like to submit your own question, you can do so by sending me a YouTube message with the title line Q&A, and I could potentially talk about it in an upcoming episode. The first question for today is, Battlefield Premium has been heavily discussed and criticized on the Battlelog forums. DICE added a queue priority for premium buyers over normal players. Do you think that this is a fair treatment of non-premium buyers? This causes normal players to potentially stay in queue for vastly longer than they expect because everyone simply goes past them. This sucks for everyone else who may not want to pre-order all the DLCs at once and save their money. I would like to hear your thoughts on this one. Yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of outrage right now over the queue priority. It's all over Reddit and Battlelog, like you said. Maybe it's just me, though. I think that people are overreacting. I don't think this is as big as a deal as people are making out to be. And I think people are just kind of hopping on the hate train on EA and DICE right now. Mostly EA. People just seem to hate EA all the time, but continue to buy their games. But I think people are just hating EA for random. I guess this isn't random. This is a legitimate concern that a lot of players have. But at least when I am playing Battlefield 3 and I'm trying to join a server, even with some friends, I'm going to look for servers that have a fair amount of room in, so that when I do try to join it, I'm not waiting 5 hours to be in the queue. And even when I am joining a queue, it's only going to be 1 or 2 people. And that was true even before I bought the premium service. I would only join a server if there was, I'm waiting, like I'm first in line or second in line. And I'm usually not going to stay in queue if I'm fourth in line. But there probably will be some circumstances where if you are a non-premium user, you join a queue, and let's say you're second in queue, and then all of a sudden 3 other users who are premium users kind of bump you out to the 5th slot. That would get very annoying, and then it kind of turns into this perpetual, you're constantly in the queue because premium users are joining it in front of you, and you can never get in. Hopefully DICE has, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but hopefully DICE has some sort of mechanism so that if you are in the queue for more than 3 minutes or something along those lines, that you all of a sudden become a premium user, or now you have priority so that premium users can't bump you out even further. I just thought of this, that this probably isn't in the game. Hopefully it is, and if it's not, DICE does something about it. And I think, in my opinion, that would be a nice compromise, because it would get annoying if you constantly got pushed back and you could never join a server. But really, if this happened to me, I would just go look for another server. I wouldn't bother waiting. But a counter argument to that is, hey, Matimio, my friends are on this server and I really want to play with them, and this queue priority system is making it so that I can't play with my friends. And in my opinion, that's probably the heart of the problem right here, and why a lot of people are upset. Because if you're playing solo, you can just search for servers that don't really have a lot of people playing, or they have 5 slots open, you can just join that and you're not going to have a problem. But if you're joining a server that's full or relatively full and a lot of your friends are on that and you can never get in, that's where a lot of people are probably upset about. I think that if DICE put in a system, if it's not already in place, that if you are in the queue for 3 to 5 minutes or something along those lines, and you're not a premium user, all of a sudden you get queue priority because you've been in it for an extensive amount of time, and people who have premium service now all of a sudden can't bump you, and you can finally join the server. I think people would get behind that idea, and it would alleviate some of this frustration that a lot of people are having with the premium service, and I think it's a good idea. But look, I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Would you guys like to see this, or do you just think that the entire idea of having a queue priority is just nonsense and they should completely just get rid of it? The next question for today is, do you think that DICE should make a separate sensitivity for vehicles? I know that you're not an Xbox player, but it irritates me that whether I'm in a tank, it takes me 5 seconds, which is a lot in the battlefield, to watch my back. Right now, you cannot watch all of your flanks when you are in the tank, which causes death in many cases. Yeah, I think this is a great idea, and I believe that DICE thinks this is a great idea as well, considering that they have given this function to PC months ago, so I'm not really sure why it's taken so long for them to implement this onto consoles. Maybe it's a technical issue, but I really can't imagine that being the issue. I would just figure that they would have a different slider for the sensitivity for the vehicles on the consoles. It really doesn't seem like it's that big of an issue. I do know that there are a lot of console players out there that actually really enjoy the sensitivity on the tanks because they feel like it's more realistic. They assume that tanks in real life will not be able to swing that massive man cannon around so sporadically like you can in PC. in a real life situation. And I think that's a completely valid point. If you want to play the game more realistically, then having that lower sensitivity is completely valid. But also on the other side, I see your point as well. If you want to play a little bit more competitive, you want to be able to line up your shots and just be more effective on the battlefield, having a higher sensitivity on the tanks and different vehicles is a must. And I'm going to have to side with you. If you're a player that does enjoy to have that more realistic feeling, then you can always slide that slider or have that sensitivity down a little bit more and make it more realistic. But if you want to play a little bit more competitively and you want to be more effective, then have it a little bit higher. The final question for today is a short one, and it is, what if you could decrease the reload time by spamming the reload button? The faster you press, the shorter the reload time you get. No, to be honest, I think that this is a terrible idea. I don't want to be rude by any means, but I just would not want to see this in Battlefield 3, or really in any first-person shooter. I think it would just lead to carpal tunnel. I do know that there is a system similar to this in Gears of War, where if you press the reload button after you already started reloading at a certain point, it will reload faster. That's kind of an okay system, but I'm not completely sold on it. I think it's more of just a mini game inside of a first-person shooter. So, it's an interesting idea. I just don't think it has a place in the Battlefield franchise. But that's it for today's Sunday Mailbox, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought about the topics that I discussed in today's video in the comment section below. I always love hearing what you guys have to say. But if you guys enjoyed the video or you want to support my channel, I always appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, guys, have a good one and take it easy.